What up? What up? And welcome to the Roast with Friends podcast. It's your boy J-Man. We got a real special episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the gamer girl experience. So definitely tune in and go ahead, Chris.
I was going to do my introduction. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you good. But yeah, go ahead and tune in and we're going to talk about how women in the gaming community are like sometimes treated unfairly, sexism, stuff like that. And then go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was cracking. Some guy went too far, and don't do sexism. I guess I don't know. I didn't have nothing.
Do sexism.
I didn't have nothing to
say. All right, so I guess I'll take it from here. So go ahead and hit us with a like, subscribe, comment, let us know what's going on. We really appreciate it. And as you can see, we actually have guests today. I know some of you might be wondering what the fuck are two grown-ass men talking about the gamer girl experience. So we have a guest. If you want to say what's up to everybody, Jess.
Hi guys, I'm Jess. And by the way, Jay, I don't think they're surprised that you have women here. I think they're just surprised that you talk to women in general.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I talked to my mom.
Shit, yeah.
Come on
that's
now.
A woman, yeah. That's a woman for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's just for you.
So just really quickly, I'm super into FPS games specifically, and yeah, I guess most of my concerns about the gamer girl life is misogyny.
Word.
Sounds about right.
And I'll pass it over to Shareen now.
Okay, and then we got one more guest. Go ahead and tell them something about yourself, Shareen.
Hi, my name is Shareen, and I've been a gamer my whole life, and I worked in the industry for maybe 4 or 5 years. And the type of games I like to play are mainly like action adventure, but I'll try any type of game, but usually like the single player experience, and there's a reason for that too. So I've had a lot of experiences with men, in the industry, and just like, when they find out you're a female gamer, good and bad. So misogyny is definitely in there. So it'll be interesting to hear what Jess has to say, and and listen to your perspectives, and maybe teach some people some stuff. You know what I mean?
Word.
Open some eyes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, happy to be here, and really glad that you guys are brought up this topic. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess I will start and say, the way that I got into gaming was a long time ago. This was like, I'm going to age myself, but it was probably 1989. So this was or 1990. Yeah, I know, right? And it was
way before I was born.
Oh, right. I'm sure. And it was funny because I had a neighbor, a little boy named Robert. He was a year older than me, and he had a Nintendo. And my mom was friends with his parents, and I'd go over to their house, and he would never let me play. And she just got super annoyed by that. And so time after time, she said, "Why aren't you letting her play? It's not fair." So she put a Nintendo on layaway for me, and I knew she couldn't afford it. That is not something she could afford back in the day. She had 2 babies and a toddler, so single mom. But so I, shout out to my mom for that. But I remember she told me that one day the kid came over to our house, and I wasn't there. And you know how you couldn't save the game back then? It was just like, you just had to keep playing.
To leave it on all day.
Leave it on. Yeah, exactly. So he was playing my Nintendo. He was playing Super Mario Brothers 3. And she told him, like, please, you got really far, just leave the game on so, Shareen could continue from that point. And then like he pressed the power button very deliberately so that I'd have to start over, basically. So that was my first. I know. You know what, Robert?
Man.
Wherever you are, Robert. I hope you're having a good life. I'm sure you're not. No, but that's how it started. But it was awesome because out of necessity, I had, my mom felt like she needed to get me my own Nintendo. So that's where it started, and I've been a fan ever since. I've been loving games, and so didn't really have much of an issue until I was older. Maybe high school, actually, when I started buying my own games, that I realized girl gamers, I don't know, they call us unicorns. I hear that all the time. And so I don't know if Jess has that same experience, but just going out and buying my own games when I was old enough, that's when it started happening, like the comments and everything that really annoyed me. Like, is this for your boyfriend? Is this for you? You know, like, have you heard that before? Okay. So yeah, and then just kind of having to prove like I know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not just here buying this for someone else. And the thing that really bothered me is I was so enthusiastic about games that I wanted to talk about them. And like it brought me great joy to talk about them. But like you have to kind of get past a certain point where you have to prove your existence to these guys first for them to maybe accept you and hopefully take you seriously. And then when they get into that kind of comfort area, like, okay, maybe, you know, we can't really deny she knows what she's talking about because she just talked about like some side quest that's random or whatever. Yeah, then they'll give you a shot sometimes. But I felt like, and you couldn't just buy things online back then. I mean, I'd have to go into GameStop. And then even my first job was GameStop, and people would come in and wouldn't even talk to me. They talked to the male associates. So that was another thing that bothered me. So that's where it started. I don't know if you want to say anything on that, Jess. I mean, you're nodding, so I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thankfully I have the more, modern way of purchasing games. I can do that digitally, and I do prefer that because of what you went through. I only went through it like one time. I was picking up a game from Target, and they're like, "Oh, your boyfriend's gonna love that." Like, you didn't even ask me if it was for him, which I still would have gotten upset with, but
Yeah.
now it's just a general assumption that I can't play games or any of my female peers. And I'm
Right.
like, okay. And if you do, they accuse you of only playing because either a guy showed it to you or you want to impress other guys. It's like,
Right.
I like it myself and I don't do this for you guys. You guys don't even know that I play if I didn't like pick up this game from Target.
Right.
And I guess what bothers me a lot also is when I say I do play video games, a lot of them just imagine me playing leisure games, like Sudoku
Mm-hmm.
or like Candy Crush. They're like, oh, you
Yeah,
play games, it's fun. But when I say, no, I play FPS, like I play Apex, like, oh, she plays, but she's not good. And
exactly.
then if I eventually give in, sometimes I do, and I'm not proud of it, I'll send them a clip of like some of my gameplay. And they're like, oh, you got lucky. The other team was bad. And I'm like, okay, I can just never be good. Like,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line.
And I think that it's not just with games. I think it's just across the board, like sports or anything. I mean, men have that picture of women that they're just not as good. But with games, especially because I actually looked this up a few years ago, but it's still relevant. It's 48% of gamers are women, and that's worldwide. And in the US, I think it's 46% worldwide and 48% in the US. So that's pretty much half. And I think a lot of girls don't really want to talk to guys about it because we get like, oh, well, she's not going to be that good. She's playing Barbie's Horse Adventures or something, which I've never played. I mean, nothing against that. It might be fun. But and what you said is true. Like sometimes I feel like now that we have the technology, I want to capture video. Like today, I did this optional boss, and I was like, that was really hard and it took a lot of skill, and I did it under leveled. And so I took a video and I'm like, is it just because for me to have or to post one day to just kind of prove that I know what I'm doing? So that's kind of frustrating. And I was at Target recently and I bought God of War, and the guy, he was an older guy, and he kept saying, she wants War on God. Like he kept saying War on God. And I was just like, it's God of War, first of all. And then he's like, there's no way you play this. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way. I'm just paying $70 for, I don't know, I'm just throwing away money, So that's the first thing. And that's just like getting over that is basically like, should I go out and buy a game because I have to deal with the comments? And then sometimes I'll be a little extra in the store and I'll, show them that I know what I'm talking about. But about the online thing, see, that's not something that I really got into because I was afraid. I didn't really want to be on the mic. I didn't want to turn the mic on, or have my username say, like, people used to call me Miss Monte Carlo because for many reasons. I'm sure Chris and Jay remember that. But I had a Monte Carlo. So and so when I created my PSN, I just made it Monte Carlo 86. Like they won't know if I'm a girl or not. But then sometimes I kind of want to put the miss back in there because I want them to know who is, not always kicking their ass, but who is like, on the same level, like, so I wanted to know, and I spoke to some interns at work, some of the younger girls who now I feel like a lot of them play online, pretty much every single one I ask. But some of them say, I'll play, I'll have the mic on when my boyfriend's there, or I just won't turn the mic on because either there's going to be, the guys are going to say, oh, it's a girl, great, she sucks. Or there's going to be comments like harassment. And so I'm just wondering, because I don't really play online because of that fear of that. Not that I've experienced a lot, but do you feel like you experience that and you'd rather play in a private party with friends, or what do you think?
Yeah, so I like how we're transitioning more into our in-game experiences now instead of just the outer world. But going back to your gamer tag situation, I think that's also why I chose kind of like a quote unquote masculine word to fit in there, because I don't want them to know that I'm 100% female.
Yeah.
Like, so mine is cryptic_Jess, but they won't really know the Jess part because I blocked out what might have made it look feminine. So when they hear cryptic, they automatically assume that it's something a little less feminine. And that's why I put it in there. I don't want them to know that I'm a girl. So other than that, no, I feel like that's something that girls shouldn't have to worry about picking their gamer tag. I want to be known as like Purple Kitty if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But no, I can't because they just automatically assume that you're dog shit at the game.
Right. Yeah. And then some people will say, well, what do you care? And I'm like, I definitely care because it's frustrating because I feel like I can't just have fun. So it's a stressful situation because I feel like maybe I should practice the game. I put in some hours ahead of time just to play the game, which is supposed to be fun, but I can't make a mistake. I can't, I have to have a better score. I have to be above average because and so that's because the whole point is to have fun. So it's kind of funny when I think about it and I take it so seriously. So the last online game I played was Tetris Effect, which it was like cross-platform, you can't even hear each other anyway, so no one has any idea what I'm doing, and it's Tetris, so I'm sure it's a different experience than like Apex. But I think there's just a fear there and there's stress, and I just want to avoid the stress, so I just play single player games. And I think it would be fun to play online, but I'm just I haven't done it in so long, so it's sad. And then about the comments, since I don't have a lot of experience playing online because I kind of refuse to, do you feel like you experience a lot of harassment just from them hearing your voice? Basically?
Yeah, which is why I don't unmute
like
ever if I'm playing with randoms. So if I'm starting a new game, I already know I'm going to get harassed as soon as they hear my voice, so I mute. And because I'd probably look horrible because it's a new game to me, I would only want to play with other friends. I don't like being stuck in random lobbies, period, if I'm in a new game.
Yeah, it creates a lot of anxiety. And, this is me, like I went around work and spoke, like I said, to a bunch of the interns. And it's not like, once this happened to me or twice. It's like every single time they hear my voice, there's something that's said, or you fear that something's going to be said. So you just don't deal with it. And then I think that takes away from the experience because you want to have that chat aspect so you can discuss strategy or so that's like half the fun, I imagine. And so I just wouldn't do it because I just don't want to put that stress on me and be deterred. Like, I'm not going to play this anymore. Forget it. Going back to the single player experience, so there's that. And then I don't want to change the subject and get into the industry, but that was where I experienced the most harassment. So I'll go on to that next point if you feel like we should, or if Jay or Chris, I'm just curious if you noticed this, like if you've noticed the female experience. You must have, since you came up with this topic.
Yeah, they actually just came up with this topic,
and
I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And then that's when I text you about it, because obviously, we've been playing video games together since we met.
Right.
And, but yeah, I hear it all the time. Like I was telling Chris, me and Chris used to be a part of the problem when we were younger, especially like the Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Xbox 360 age. anyone during that time.
We're talking about first Modern Warfare player back 2007. Player, we dating ourselves too, but it was.
We used to harass women all the time just for getting on the damn game, asking why they ain't watching their kids, asking why why they ain't doing laundry. And one time I asked this lady, I'm like, "Excuse me, miss, could you ask me could you let me know what time it is?" And she's like, "I don't have a watch on me." I was like, "Don't you play Xbox Live in the kitchen? You don't got a clock on the stove?"
Oh wow!
So this was the old me, by the way. This was like 10 years ago. So you can't cancel me for something that's not on Twitter.
My mom took that personally. All right.
Yeah.
My mom took that personally when you said that.
You can't prove it was me because I didn't post it on Twitter. So
right.
I relate a lot to like what you guys say, but like not on a gender level, but on like a racial level. Because I remember during one of the Call of Duties, there's been 50 of them, but like I literally had to start muting my mic too because I was getting called the N-word like on a weekly basis, because you can tell by my voice I'm black. So it's so people would troll you. And it's before Xbox really started doing anything about it. And people would just, you have an N-word, you have an N-word. And so like I was just stopped for the same reason, So on some level I get it, even though like I was part of it too, like I'm not gonna sit here and hang Jay out to dry. I was part of it too. So
but we're better men now.
Yeah.
And to any men listening right now, this is just a testament. I don't know if you notice how quiet me and Chris were for a while. Sometimes as men, you got to just shut the fuck up and let women speak and actually listen to what they're saying instead of just trying to respond. So let this be a lesson. And not just in this category, any category. Shut the fuck up and listen to women sometimes. You don't know everything. And they're smarter than us.
Maybe clap emojis.
I know, right?
There we go.
Oh, you got. See, I'm not gonna mess with it.
Oh, damn! You doing new stuff? Cool. I ain't even know you could do that, girl.
See. She
can I put some black hands though? Like, can I clap some black hands?
I think you want to clap black cheeks.
Hey,
damn!
That's later on.
This guy.
Later on. Right now. See, now Jess is the pervert. That used to be me saying stuff like that. No, the other Jess in here.
That is crazy. You seeing some shit.
Yeah. Clapping cheeks is a very fun and life-changing experience.
Yes.
Take your word.
I can attest to this.
Nothing greater. I'm sorry. We need to get back on topic. We're talking about the video game industry and no longer the clapping of cheeks.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead, sure.
That's a different episode. We talk about clapping cheeks on a later episode.
Yeah, do that. That'll be the next episode. And hopefully it's not a problem calling you Chris. I don't know if you're an incognito or anything, but some guy.
What's up?
What you were saying. So that's one thing about gamers that I find like when they're online, it's the same thing when you're typing on social media and you start talking, crap to people. It's like you have that, you're anonymous, I guess. So you feel like you can say things. So I was trying to figure it out. Like, what is with these gamer guys? I mean, I think a lot of them have social anxiety, social issues, and, they just don't know how to act. I'm not making any excuses for them, but it's interesting that gamers in general treat people that way, like when they're online or whatever. And as far as the industry, like I wrote a whole page on it, and then I was getting like heated, honestly, and it's cool up here where I live, but I was getting like hot because just thinking about how I was treated and other people were treated. And so I think it's the same thing. These guys, they grow up, whatever, maybe they're like the nerdy guy and they're not really used to those social situations. Maybe they're a small group of friends, but then they kind of get into a position of power because so basically where I worked, I didn't really have many problems. It was a small Japanese company. I felt like because a lot of them were Japanese, they were pretty respectful. I didn't have many issues. There was one guy, he's American. He would walk past my office and lick the window every single day. And I just remember thinking like, okay, yeah. And he would do it to another guy too. He did it to a guy as well, but it was mainly to the females. And it wasn't really my office. It was just a room we went into because I was a game tester, but I also...
I'm sorry, real quick, Shareen.
Yeah.
Was this man that was licking the glass, was he from the mountains of Caucasus?
Yes.
No,
He was
he
with
wasn't.
Caucasus Mountain.
He wasn't? What was
He
he?
was not. I'm not sure what he was. He might have been Hispanic. I'm not really sure, but he and he was married, by the way. But I just feel like he felt like he had a lot of power. He was the I think he was the marketing director, and he would just lick it every single day. And we went to some events together, and he was always, chasing the women, not really, I feel like not really focused on what, the product was. He just felt like he had power all of a sudden. But that was the only issue I had working in that particular company, because I feel like once you get the job, people kind of respect you. The other testers in there were cool. I never had a problem. What I had a problem with was the industry events that I'd go to. And I don't know if you guys, I talked to Jay about this, like the whole scandal with Ubisoft, and they fired several people. This was in 2020. And it was like their big, people at the top, like the creative director, the PR director, and some other guys. They were fired. There were allegations of like sexual misconduct, verbal and physical abuse, toxic work environment. And I was a part of all that. And so, but it was like years prior. So you can see how like long this was going on, because through working in the industry, I went to different events like E3 and Anime Expo and all those things. And I met some of the guys from Ubisoft, and this was their Montreal office. And so they were working on like Assassin's Creed. I think it was Black Flag, and the ones coming after that. And so I started dating this guy. It took a while because Jay knows, like, I'm not really, it takes a while for me. So I was talking to this guy just like on a friendly level. And then we would meet up when he'd come to LA, just because we had a lot of different events. But I won't give the whole story. I'll just say, like, fast forward, it turned out he was like married the whole time, and using his position of power to like date different women in the industry or fans or streamers or whatever. In 2020, he was dating a streamer who found out that he was married because she found a picture of him with a ring, and pretty much exposed him, where like she had a lot of followers. So it was easy for her to expose him on like a larger scale level. But then it pretty much exposed everyone. And I was friends with another guy. I won't name any names, but you could Google it. And, so they all got fired. And what really made me mad is a lot of gamers, like guys, of course, were saying the women are all lying. These scandals are untrue. These allegations are untrue. But I know that they were true because I lived it. And I feel like I didn't want to get involved in 2020. Like, it had been 6 years since I talked to that guy. I'm the one that ended it because I felt like it was so weird, the situation. Now it makes sense why he, was leading me on and telling me to meet him at the airport, never showing up and things like that. So just abusing his power, and basically, I don't know, like how many girls he was with at the time, but I didn't want to get involved. I just felt like it was too stressful. It was over, but it made me mad that people were defending them. And I hear this all the time, like Activision. I wasn't involved with that, thank goodness. But, I lived it firsthand, and I haven't even dated anyone since then. Like, I don't care about this guy anymore, but I think I just lost that trust. So I kind of just, gaming, I never lost the love for it, but it's always been like something I do by myself, just like escapism. Whereas like, I'd love to have that community that I did have when I was in the industry, because I love like talking about the games and the experience, but it was just such a bad experience that I don't know. I just prefer to be on my own with it. And I'm trying to be more social, but I've kind of been more antisocial. So I'm not the boss anymore. I feel like my personality changed a little bit, but yeah. So sorry, that long story. But yeah,
no, it was a good story.
Oh, thank you.
It was interesting.
That's exactly the content we need. So,
but I do have an answer for you, because like how you started that off, like how these dudes are nerds and they grew up nerds, and it's weird how they will grow up and sort of like get some power and act like jocks. But the biggest thing is this: just like racism, misogyny is built into our society. So sometimes a nerd is just somebody who's misogynistic but doesn't have the power to act it out, you know what I mean, or do anything about it. Same way, like sometimes like somebody can be part of an oppressed group, like they can be part of the LGBT community, but still be deeply racist. They're just, not as privileged as a straight white guy or a straight white woman. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, on some level it doesn't make sense, but on some level it makes perfect sense, because the minute they get that power, they're gonna just act out all the misogyny that they've been taught and all the racism too. So that's just why, we can't assume because somebody's part of a marginalized group that they're automatically virtuous or something. So
Yeah, it's like
racism,
the billionaire concept. Like everyone says if they had $1 billion, they would, you know, solve world hunger or do this and do that. But it's like once people get to that, it's like chances are you're just going to be worried about yourself, to be honest. Just how most people are.
Yeah, so it is really like I guess I can see how it's a shell shock. And just knowing you too, I can see how, because you really are like a genuine and trusting person, you know what I mean? So I can see how it hits you that way, you know? But
Yeah. And I just want to say, on it, like when I have personal relationships, friendships, the guys have mainly, I'd say like 99% been awesome. Like we talked about games all the time back in the day, and you always treated me like equals. And, so it was not really just like the guys I'd hang around with, maybe because when they started acting like that, I'm like, okay, we're definitely not getting past this point, and becoming good friends because you're annoying, but yeah, so I've had really good experiences within, the people around me. It's just like on the bigger level when, they don't know you and they can mistreat you because you're nothing to them, or they're abusing their power, which is exactly what happened. So, so thanks to guys like you, who I've never had a problem with, and, we can roast each other as,
with
it's
friends.
no problem because we're like on an equal level. So I love that. That's cool. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, same thing with Jess too. Like, for anybody who don't know, we play Apex Legends. If you don't know what that is, man.
And just to let everybody know, Jess carries us. When Jess first started playing Apex Legends, we were all like around the same skill level. And then I took a break to go play Overwatch for a little bit. I came back and Jess is a fucking monster at Apex. She's like, down one. I'm like, all right, I'm coming to help. Down two. I'm like, all right, almost there. All three down. I'm like, I guess I'll loot these old boxy boxes, because that's all I'm doing in this round.
Hey, that's free loot for you. I don't know anybody who doesn't like free loot.
I'm not complaining. I just, I like to at least punch somebody in the back of the head with my heirloom or some shit like that.
Yeah. Hey, but Jess, I got a question. Jess, for as two of us who never really jumped off Apex.
Yeah.
I remember before Jay jumped off, like it was extremely toxic, like to play, and like when you would get with randos, but now it seems like less toxic when you meet randos. Does it seem less toxic to you, or does it?
Okay, it's only less toxic when my other friends are there. If they know that I'm a solo female in the party, that's when the harassment starts. But if they know I have a friend in the party, they won't say anything. Like, that's a pattern that I've just noticed.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Some punk bitches, I see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just like, it was weird because just growing up in gaming, when we started the game, like we were saying, like it was just not as toxic like early on when online gaming, console gaming started getting popular, and it just got slowly worse, which I didn't know coincided with Gamergate, because I wasn't really like into it, but like I saw how when Gamergate started, like I was like, that's around the time where everything got all like screwed up. And that's, when I stopped using my mic, but I didn't know till like a year later that all that went on. But it seems to like have been getting a little better. Like it seems like maybe this generation is a little less tolerant of like a lot of the bullshit, but I don't know. I can only go at it from like my perspective as like a male, but I don't know.
Sounds about right. I think the younger the generation gets, the more humane they seem to be, just like caring about each other, like less racism, less sexism.
Yeah.
So I think just each generation after is a little bit better at that type of stuff. And then just to pass it over to Jess. I know, Jess, you told me you had a couple of stories. I don't know if you want to get into one of yours.
Okay, this is like a recurring kind of concern, but it's when I like happen to meet like a cool random, like you guys when I first met you guys. I was like, hey, can I grab you guys' contact info? Maybe I want to hop on with you guys again sometime in the near future. And so obviously I still do that. I like having a wide pool of friends to play with, just in case I don't have anyone on at this time. It's like, it's fine, I'll hop on with this person. But one thing that's been coming up a lot lately is that when they find out I'm a girl and I ask them like, "Hey, can I get your like PlayStation gamer tag? Can I get your PSN or something?" I think they think I'm flirting with them or something. And then when I do send that request, they look at like my profile photo and they talk to me in the party chat and they're, "You're actually really pretty." What is actually supposed to mean? When you put actually in there, it's like you associated me as a gamer with like this fucking ugly ass girl. Like it makes me so mad to talk about it. Like they think fat bitches just play video games with Cheeto fingers and shit. I'm like, I mean, I guess.
Those are my favorite ones.
You know,
They gotta have the
shit.
hot Cheeto fingers though. The hot Cheeto fingers.
Oh, no wonder why you keep coming back to me. Jesus.
And how are we supposed to play with Cheeto fingers anyway? Like that's gonna get in the way.
I don't know. That's why
that's extra grit,
girl.
Gotta blend it up and gotta sip it through a straw or something. But that is so crazy because everything in life, if you talk to a guy, they're like, she's flirting with me every single day. Can you pick that? Can you get that off the top shelf for me? Oh, she's in love with me. It's like I really just can't reach it. So it's a struggle. Like you just want to be friends. You just want to have a community. But I feel you on that for sure. Frustrating. Oh, isn't it a compliment though? It's like I could do without it. Not really.
Yeah. It's too romanticized at this point, and they're too comfortable with telling us these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I never wanted to hear that. Like my mom tells me I'm fat and ugly all the time. What makes you think you can change my mind? Oh. I'm just kidding. I'm like,
whoa, that got dark.
It got dark.
Look at the time.
Oh shoot.
I left the bathtub on. I gotta go for another later.
I was acting like my screen froze. I was just like like damn, Jess.
I 100% get what you mean though, Jess. Like, yeah, a lot of dudes don't know how to pick up cues or nothing like that, so I can see how that happens.
But you guys talked about it on your first episode, and I thought it was awesome because really, like, if a girl plays games and wants to talk about it with you, that is the easiest way to become friends with a girl. I mean, like if someone came up to me and said, yeah, so, whatever game, like I'm playing, I don't know, Resident Evil.
War of God.
War on God. Like, what are your thoughts on this War on God? Like I would have a conversation, but as long as you don't jump into, so anyway, let me get your number and you want to, it's just like, it's just like, oh, okay, never mind then. I thought, we had something going, like a friendship. That's where it should start anyway.
I'm sorry, Shareen. You just, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you knocked that shit out the park right there. You knocked that shit right out the park right there, dude. Dudes, listen up. Like, very rarely, and J-Man will second me on this, very rarely have any of us ever gotten at a woman and it started with a bullshit pickup line or something like that. It always starts off with a conversation and getting her to talk about something she loves or something she's interested in. It's always, we are more likely to get, if you were to meet Shareen or meet Jess, you're more likely to get with them by being their friend first than you are doing some stupid Playboy shit that you've seen on a romantic comedy or shit or something. You know what I mean? So dudes don't kind of like get that.
I will second that. However, it does also depend on your pickup lines.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the follow-up to said pickup lines. You can't just be like, here's this clever ass pickup line. and then now it's sex time. Like, you gotta have conversation after you make her laugh the first time. That opens up a world of possibilities. Like I said on the first podcast, if you can make a girl laugh and giggle, you can make her ass bounce and jiggle.
Yes, exactly. Pickup line is supposed to be stupid. Pickup line is supposed to be stupid. It's a joke.
Like an icebreaker. Use it as an icebreaker. But if you don't know what to do after the ice is broken, get your ass off the ice, nigga. Get out the way. Yeah.
But
my ex told me the best pickup line ever.
Oh, now you got to share it.
Are you from Tennessee? And I was already rolling my eyes. Please don't finish this joke. Like, are you from Tennessee? This nice ass. I was like, excuse me? That did not go where I thought it was going to go, but you can go in my pants because it totally worked. And yeah, I thought it was funny. So I let him hit.
God damn.
All right.
Yeah, that's how it happens, boys. That's how it happens, boys. You know.
Be unpredictable.
Yeah, dude. Not
in a good way.
Whoa,
yeah, in a good way.
Don't just pull your dick out now.
Girls.
Well, I mean, if it looks nice,
Jess.
Damn, Jess.
You gonna get these niggas in trouble.
You're gonna be writing this. They gonna write.
Okay, for one time, I'm gonna say, don't listen to a woman. Do not just walk up to a girl and pull your dick out, no matter what Jess says.
Yeah,
it's never okay.
No matter what,
even if it does look good, there's no reason
to
pull dicks out unless said dick was requested.
Yeah. And you can ovulating or something.
Gentlemen, I hope you're taking notes on this shit. I hope you got one of these, and I hope you're taking notes on this shit.
Yeah, take notes. Tennessee, that's where you could start.
Yeah.
That's
the only good thing that came out of Tennessee was that pickup line.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, he made you laugh. Like, that's awesome. Just make you laugh.
That was great.
Treat me like a human being. Then we'll start there, and then we're good. And then that's it's really simple in my opinion. But
it is. But all right, to stick up for men for a second.
Yeah. Nasty. Disgusting.
Shut up. No, but stick up for men and a little bit for I guess myself. And I saw this on a different podcast. I just can't remember. But but it's so true because he's like, nobody ever teaches us this shit. Nobody ever really teaches you how to talk to a woman. You're just expected to figure it out. It's just, your parents tell you, just be yourself, son. And then you go out there, I like video games, or you're a big ass dork and you go be yourself, and that shit don't work. And you kind of blame yourself, you know what I mean? Because you're just like, it makes you feel like maybe you're not good enough, but it's just your methodology is wrong. And there's nobody who tells it to you. And so then you end up gravitating towards the negativity sometimes because those seem like the dudes who get the girls, you know what I mean? So I can understand how it's young men nowadays will gravitate towards an Andrew Tate because you see him with all the women and the money and all this shit. So he getting results. So you can go to him. And that's part of the reason why me and Jay want to do this podcast, because we want to be the counter to tell hey, Andrew Tate, that's going to work for rich dude. Andrew Tate can do it because he's handsome and he's rich and he can talk all the shit. He could talk all the shit he wants because he's all right, yeah. I mean, teach their own, but he's rich. But he's rich.
But
he's rich, and
he's a kid. Great heavens!
I'm gonna look him up. I don't know who this is.
You never good.
Save yourself, please.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Your eyes are beautiful. Don't.
He reminds me of a weasel. He just looks like a weasel with his beady eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
He just looks sneaky. Niggas, you just look at them, they just look like they do some sneaky shit.
He look like you can't trust
not even really, really bad sneaky shit,
I don't know why.
He kind of looks like Swiper No Swiper without the fucking bandana and shit.
I see.
No, but but he's a kickboxer. He's rich. He can be an asshole because somebody will put up with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But dude, you can't act like him because you're gonna have dry dick and a dry phone. But there has to be a counter to sort of just normal dudes telling normal dudes how they achieved it. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why we wanted to do it. So, but it's hard because it's just we're telling you got to put in the work, and that work isn't hard. It's you got to really look at yourself and understand that some of the shit that you're doing is problematic, and that shit ain't easy. You know what I mean? 20-year-old me might not have listened, and you knew 20-year-old me, you know what I mean? So like I was an ass in a lot of ways. So like, like I said, that's why I say like to stick up for men. Like if we want men to change, we got to give them the room to change, and we got to give them the time to change. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot to deprogram from everything you've been taught your whole life about women. You've been taught basically you not own them, but you have like a right to their body, you have a right to their attention, you have a right to like everything from TV, everything tells you that shit. So all the media and everything sort of tells you that shit. So it takes a while to like really understand. Like, I brought up in another podcast, if it wasn't for hanging out with like you guys and the twins and Veronica and everybody, I would have never realized what women go through without seeing it firsthand, or just really like, just having a whole group of girlfriends I would have beat the shit out of somebody for, you know what I mean? Allowed it with the jail to protect, you know what I mean? So it took a lot to get me to this point. So we got to kind of like not give them like an excuse, but a level of understanding, I guess.
Yeah.
Not to grandstand or nothing.
Yeah, that's some great points.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know how many more stories you have, Jess and Shareen. We probably got time to each of you tell a couple more, because we still got to do our draft after this too. So I know you guys both said you had multiple stories. So I mean, if you feel like you have like real good ones, you could do 3. But
I just like wanted to add on to what Chris said. It was really interesting how you were saying like, oh, I'm not saying that it's an excuse at all for why men treat women like that, especially in the gaming community, because it's like our emphasis right now. But I was wondering if you guys have heard the term hegemonic masculinity.
Yes.
Wait, say that again?
Hegemonic masculinity.
Oh, no, I have never heard of that.
So right now in today's world, what's like socially constructed? Right now, I guess the number one thing to come to mind would be gender, right? And how we're all fighting for all these different types of rights. And so just to put it into something that's a little more understandable for you guys, I put gender out there. But hegemonic masculinity is also a socially constructed term. And it puts our males at risk because they're assumed to fit under these ideal man traits. Oh, I'm desensitized. Oh, I'm a playboy. And oh, I like doing this risk-taking behavior. So Chris said like, oh, we don't raise them to know how to talk to women. And that's true. Because you raise, like, not you guys, obviously, I'm talking about the whole general society. So they were raising these males to grow up to be so insensitive because they thought if you're tough, that's what a man should be. You shouldn't be able to show any feelings. And you're definitely above women. And all these ideologies, they're manifesting in these little boys, and then they just grow up to be just as bad. And that's why nobody was changing until all these movements in today's world. So that's what hegemonic masculinity is. And I think there's a lot of that in the gaming community.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's a great point.
Yeah, makes sense.
Couple big words I need to go look up after this, but
I
feel like
some scholarly shit right there.
Feel my Wheel of Fortune skills kind of picked up what the hell was going on anyways.
Yeah.
I like to solve hegemonic masculinity. You got it.
My dad was like, heard your mama, masculinity. Heard your mama. Come on, they ain't even here. What the hell are you talking about?
Talking about syrup now?
Oh,
straight up.
Syrup? Aunt Jemima?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But damn, we hearing a whole bunch of different things. I heard your mama masculinity. You heard Aunt Jemima masculinity?
Yeah.
I don't know. Type it in the chat.
And I want to add on to what Jess said too.
Okay.
She put it in there.
Hedgehog
masculinity.
I said it worse reading it. Goddamn.
Okay, don't ask me to spell
Sonic,
it.
He can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sorry, I love that song.
Yeah, that's classic shit. Hey, but to add on to what she said, and another thing where like podcasts like this are important is that we put it too much like it's women's job to fix men. in this society, like you know, like how that study came out and it said, oh, men, like we're in the generation of most lonely single men, and they're like, see, you know, like these men aren't getting laid, so these women need to do something. And she's like, no, it's not really women's job to fix men, it's men's job to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's men's job to check other men. It's men's job to fix this problem, especially because as a gender, you know, I guess sort of some level I'm part of it, but as gender, we control everything. We control the narrative. You know, we're most likely to get taken seriously when we say hegemonic masculinity, when we call out sexism in the gaming industry. So it's up to us to sort of, you know, pull younger men to the side and tell them and guide them and say, hey, man, nah, this isn't going to work, you know, and stuff like that. You know, like I ran into a dude at my other job who listens to Andrew Tate. And I was like, look, I'm not going to tell you who not to listen to, but when what he's telling you doesn't work, I don't want to hear you blaming feminism. I don't want to hear you blaming women. You blame him and you blame yourself for being stupid enough to listen to him. So I'm gonna just leave it like that, you know what I mean? So it's up to us to do that, you know. So that's just you know, one thing I want to add on, you know, like that's why I said this work is important, but the personal work is even more important to grow, you know. So
yeah, for sure. Something that made me think of was I actually had a lot of male friends growing up. I mean, I think a lot in high school, especially, and I think a lot of that stems from talking about gaming and just the ones who were like cool with it. I never really had an issue. This was like early 2000s. Yeah. But yeah. And I remember, and I won't name his name, but I'm sure you guys could figure it out. There was a guy in high school who had a notebook, you know, when you could put pictures in your notebook, and that was our like Facebook, Instagram.
Your top five.
Yeah, exactly. But he had a lot of like game characters, like he would print out and put them in there. And I did too. I'm not going to lie. So I just talked to him. This guy, I don't think he ever would have talked to me. He was very shy, you know, and you guys know him, but yeah. I just said, like, I didn't care. I was like, oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite games in the world. And then we started talking, and then he realized, like, after a while, okay, I can breathe. I can talk to this girl. And then we remained friends. So I am just thinking about that now. Like, I did have a lot of friends, male friends, and I think a lot of it came from the gaming. And I think it was just that initial interaction where they didn't treat me some type of way. But this was also before online gaming. And I think the online gaming brought out a lot of the, you know, I don't know what you want to call them. Trying to think of an animal.
Ass hats.
Yeah, or ass hat. Yeah.
Ass
you
hats.
know, I'm looking outside, like, what animal can I call them? Let's just say ass hat. Yeah. So I think the online gaming really kind of showed me on a broader level how these guys treat women. But like on, you know, a small scale level, I didn't really have a lot of issues. I think it was more of a shock and surprise. And then once they realized, you know, because they don't take you at face value. So once they realize I know what I'm talking about, then I made a lot of, I would say, lifelong friends and a lot of, yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think it's all guys. I just think that we have so many, it just occurs so often that we're tired of it. And so, and then that's why we're having this discussion now. But yeah.
Yeah. So. For something to be true about a group, it doesn't really have to be true about everybody, nor most of the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I told Jay this, like an example is like, there's a lot of cowboys in Texas. That's true, but doesn't mean you assume everybody from Texas is a cowboy. But it's still true about the group that there's a lot of cowboys in Texas. So there is a lot of, like, maybe most guys won't, or most gamers won't be, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe we're not, is crisis on the tip of my tongue. Maybe we're not bad. I'm just going to say that. Maybe we're not bad, but a lot of us will tolerate it too, though. You know, like we might not be doing it, but we'll sit idly by while somebody else does it. And that's not per se good either. Like, who are you siding with when you do that? You know what I mean? Like you still are sometime, like when you do that, a part of the problem. So maybe, yeah, I'm not the dude calling the women the B word on the shit, but if I sit here and let somebody else do it and then not check him, then yeah, I'm sort of part of the problem too. So I don't think anybody would take you guys as like talking about all gamers or all men, but you know, there's enough of it for it to be true, like 100%, you know?
Yeah.
So, because it's just like, what good am I if I'm gonna let something happen, you know? Like, you know, like if I'm gonna, yeah, I'm on the side of the, if I let some dude do some misogynistic shit in front of me, then I'm on the side of the oppressor. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, you know, like we could as men take that level of accountability. I think a lot of us should be, you know, with many things in our lives that we've tolerated that were wrong, you know. So not just with gaming, you know. So, you know, don't think you're coming off wrong or anything. At least I don't take it. So that was my point.
Yeah. Well, that is a really good point. And thank you for saying that. I mean, it's like if we unite, then they're going to get, you know, they're not going to do it so often because they're going to feel like, okay, I'm looking dumb because, you know, I don't have my dudes rallying behind me, you know, on this. And there've been a lot of positive experiences, but it's really hard not to focus on the negative because it just puts up like that wall. And then you just feel like, I don't even want to take the chance because this might come up or this might happen and ruin the experience, you know? So, but there's been a lot of positives. So it goes both ways, but definitely, I agree with what you're saying for sure. So,
and maybe just, you know, people will hear you guys' stories, or we're hoping that they hear your stories and they at least think twice that person on the other side of that mic is a person, like with feelings, you know, like, and you can't just say fucked up shit to them. You know, like,
yeah,
it's wrong. It's easy to forget that. It's easy for you to just for her to just be cryptic Jess and just some girl I'm hearing. And I'm gonna say some stupid fucking joke to be funny, but I'm realizing that she probably gets 100 of those a week, you know, just for being better than a lot of most people, better than being most people at Apex Legends. You know what I mean? Like, instead of people like appreciating it, like, oh, you know, like me, I'm just like, okay, damn, Jess is on. Oh, fuck, I cannot try so hard. Like, all right, you know, maybe I can steal a kill or two from her. You know?
That does happen a lot to me though, especially when we're playing. Like when I was playing ranked, I know you and I can't play anymore, or Jay, but that's okay. But when I'm in there, I usually, and I'm going to be really specific for the sake of this story, I usually carry like a Sentinel and maybe an R9 if I can get it from the crafter. But don't look at me like that. That is a bomb ass combo, Chris.
Good combo.
No, that's a good combo. I couldn't use it, but I mean, I couldn't use a Sentinel, but I mean, if you can, I've seen you do it. I
playing with these two guys, and one of them said, "Damn, this girl can actually snipe. Why do you have to put my gender in there?" And again, with the actually. If I was a guy, if it's a guy, they'd be like, "Damn, he's hella good at sniping," and that's it. But when you say this girl is actually good, and I'm like, I just want to main lobby, please. Like, I don't want to be here. I'm being excluded in my own little team. And for what? Just because I'm a girl. But when I play with you guys, it doesn't feel like that. I remember when I went back to the lobby, Jay was like, what rank is that? What color?
I still like
she was some type of rank I have never seen before in my life.
I still don't know. So
it was like some weird pattern, and it just says I clap cheeks. I was like, what? How do you get the I clap cheeks rank, Jess?
Well, because you have to clap at least 20 of them.
Oh, damn. I only clap like 3 a game. So
yeah, I mean 20 in one game? One game or just one session?
No, my highest was 15 in one game.
Okay, see.
Still chasing that.
Yeah. But like I said, like I guess it just came with age with me and just like experience, you know, but we don't always have to like learn from our own experiences. People can learn from others. That's why this content is good. You know what I mean? And I hope it, like I said, I say this every episode, but I hope this fucking helps somebody. You know what I mean? Like, do better quicker than I did. You know what I mean? Because it was a beautiful thing. So like nickname we call, like the audience don't know, we call Shareen the boss jokingly because it's just like when we used to hang out, we always had to do, which like not always, but we did what she was like wanted to do, just so everybody could be included. Like just when it came to like what alcohol we were gonna drink, because if Shareen didn't, like if we were gonna buy a bottle of something and Shareen didn't want to drink it, we didn't want to exclude her or have her buy something else. So we would always have to do. We would do it. So we just jokingly like named her the boss, like, oh hey, the boss is here, Shareen the queen, and but just like having them in my life was some of the best things. Like that was some of the best times of my life, and they were really like some of my best friends. And it was just like I said, I almost had to fight 2 dudes at the club. Remember in Vegas when you disappeared with those 2 dudes, and we couldn't find you? You're at the bar, and I was like disrespectful to them when I found like, and I thought they were gonna jump me or something. They didn't. They probably could have. I mean, but they probably could have won my ass, just to be honest. But like, I was protecting my homegirl as far as I saw her. She was like my little sister, man. You know, like in.
Thank you.
You know, like
clap.
Yeah, like no,
I gotta learn how to clap. Hold on.
I know. I don't know.
Look at your reactions, and then
like, oh, okay,
and then clap.
Hey!
Okay,
clap.
There's a heart. There we go.
Oh,
but like,
love.
But it was like like I said before, it was a beautiful thing, and when you know, like people, I think men need female friends in their lives. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
yeah. Sorry.
What did you do? Hold on.
Food.
He's
put up my little emoji.
Great impression.
How do you do that? How do you do that? I'm an old man in technology. We don't get along.
We just figured it out like 2 minutes ago.
Well, I see it right there. I see it right there. All right. I'm gonna do the thumbs up. It didn't work.
Yeah, it works.
No? This is what I was doing, by the way. I was doing a little something like this.
I saw that. That's what happened. That's what you look like when you clap in the cheeks.
I found you, Jay. That's you, Jay. That's you. Oh shit!
The angel?
I meant this one.
Oh, doo-doo man. Why I gotta be doo-doo? No, because I'm the shit. That means I'm the shit. Gotta say it like that, so people know it's a positive shit.
Without the.
Is there ever a negative shit?
Yeah, that's when like you go to take a shit. You're like, God damn, I guess I don't gotta go. That means it went back in.
Got a turtle head and called it a day.
I ain't never had that happen.
Really? You never sat down to take a shit and then you was like, damn, I guess that was my stomach was telling me something else.
Nah.
Oh.
I'll play it.
Happened to me.
When I sit down, it's happening. It's going down. Okay, basement.
Basement.
All right, we get a little off topic again.
You said you wanted to talk about the top 5 female legends.
Oh no, we're gonna do that for the draft.
Oh, bitch!
Why I gotta be all that? That's why I'm trying to get your guys' stories out, because after we're done with your guys' stories, we're gonna do a new episode.
Okay, wait,
and then we're gonna.
Or we can stay here and just edit it out.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we could do that too.
I just wanted to say, Chris made a great point about like these guys need to make female friends, and not like I'm going to be friends with her because I need to get with her. Like, just be friends with some girls, and then you learn, like how to. I mean, it just answers all your questions. I think that's the key. And those were, side note, those were amazing times. I still think about it all the time. And the vodka, the $5 vodka, it's called Pop Off vodka. I said it's about to pop off like some cheap vodka. Yes. Yeah. The nastiest thing ever. But yeah. But you feel like safe with certain guys, and then you want to, it's like a good relationship. It's like, I know these guys will be there for me, and they treat me like I'm a human. I'm equal to them, and we could play games together. I don't know if we played like Guitar Hero World Tour and all that, but going to the arcades and so
Dave and Buster's.
Good times. Dave and Buster's, yeah. So
when you recommended that drink, that's another example of why we call her the queen, why we call her the boss, because we all had to get the same drink at Dave and Buster's.
Dang, I am
with
so
her. Remember the walk
with
with the plank?
and
then we got it. And they were like, that was more like a walk in the park.
Yes, I remember.
She hyped up that drink for like 2 weeks.
Mine was really strong, and it was a female bartender. I don't know, maybe she wanted to give you guys a week. You guys had the walk in the park. I had the walk the plank. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. But sorry, I was so bossy. I am not.
No, you weren't bossy. It was just it was just a child. It was just like I guess we can't say childhood nickname. It was just a nickname.
Yeah, I like to make sure everything went smoothly. So I like to have a plan. Like right now, I have all my notes. So it's like, okay, this is what we can drink. Yeah. This is where we can go. This is when we're gonna meet. Yeah.
And you were right a lot of the times. You did that in Vegas. We go to this club. We're just like, I didn't know where the fuck to go. We wouldn't have went anywhere if it was like left up to me to pick a club to go to. Like I would have never known to go to the MGM Grand or
Shareen had her asses walk like 6 miles before.
Oh yeah,
to get a taxi.
Right.
And then remember when we got
heels. So
she had us walk like down the whole goddamn strip, and every time I was like, God damn, Shareen, where's this place at? We're almost there. I pull it up on my phone. I'm like, Shareen, there's still 3 fucking more miles to go. And half of us stopped. We tapped out, and Shareen just kept power walking. She was determined to go where she was going to go. I tapped out. I'm like, I was like, we going to have to chip in on the taxi, y'all. I ain't walking 3 more miles tonight.
I remember on the way home when we got
I drank so far, I sobered up, nigga. Like, we was pre-gaming the whole goddamn time. Shareen had us walk 4 miles on the strip.
We pre-gamed at the hotel the way before. And then we like, oh, we'll get there. We walked it off on the stairs.
They had to start filling Sunny Delight bottles with liquor.
That was our shit. Our shit. The Sunny Delight with the cheap ass vodka. That was our shit. And remember when we took the cab home and you called the dude Jose, not knowing his name was really Jose. You're just trying to be an asshole.
I thought, all right, here's where we going, Jose. And then Chris looks at his name tag, turns around, he's like, his name's really Jose.
How did you know? Like, nigga, I didn't. Like, oh shit. Just trying to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And then Shareen came up with the bright idea that instead of going to like the Luxor or something, we used to get a room at the Motel 6 for like $60. We all pitching like $15 for a room at Motel 6.
Yeah.
Like, we'll leave the light on for you.
Yeah, in those early days. Because we'd go once a month, so you had to start saving some money somewhere. And then we'd spend more money at the club. Yeah. But
wasn't gonna be at the club.
Yeah, true. But
hey, remember when the thing fell off the table and James thought he got all scared? He jumped. He thought that was a meerkat. Like, nigga, a meerkat? The fuck is wrong with you? It was so funny.
Yeah.
Those were some good times.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to reel it back. So we probably got time for one more story each from Shareen and Jess. And then we can get started on the draft.
Man, there's probably so many stories that I'll think about later that I didn't write in my notes. But one thing I would love is like when I would meet a gamer girl who played like a lot of the games that I would play, because I love the single player experience. So when I met a girl, like, I don't know if you guys remember Michelle, she used to hang out with the twins, and I met her.
I Michelle.
Yeah, and she was saying, oh, I'm playing, I don't know what she was playing, like I think it was like Final Fantasy X. And I was like, we're going to be friends because we can talk about it and just have a different perspective, like getting, with the characters and talking about the story. And we had that in common. So I would love to, they're out there. Trust me, they're all over the place. I just don't know them, unfortunately, as many as I'd like. But it was always fun finding gamer girls. It's like you're friends for life after that, because it's like you have that shared experience, good and bad. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm like, when you guys said, oh, we have someone else who's going to be on here, I'm like, that's amazing. That's awesome. And I love hearing what you have to say, Jess, as well, about your experience. Because it's like, I don't know, kind of like validates it. Like, it's not just me. It's just like the overall experience. And, we're out there. There's so many of us. And, we just want to play. And I told you, Jay, the other day, like, we just want to play without the thirst, like, just and I probably got that lingo from you.
I forgot about that.
Glasses of water out here for them, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to play games without the thirst.
Yeah.
You got to put that on a t-shirt, Shareen.
I'll make a t-shirt and I'll send it to all of you. But I thought of one last story. we used to have these game nights and they were like so fun, and I still think about them and I still want to have a game night because I have a great location for it where I live. But yeah, we would just get together and we'd like play, you know, like the new Super Mario Brothers Wii, and we'd be, you know, doing drinking games at the same time, and that was like the best times ever. I loved those times so much. And we couldn't even get through all the games. We had so many lined up, so we just had to have another game night. And it was just girls and guys just like getting together, playing like the board games, video games. It was so fun. And yeah, so let's do more.
That was one of the few times where you would cuss correctly was when we would play Super Mario Brothers, because you used to not know how to cuss right. We used to have to teach you how to say cuss words in the correct order.
Don't you damn fucking
remember that? I forgot about that.
I'm really bad at cussing. I know. Still. And I swear the only time that I really like cuss would be when I'm playing video games, and now I turn the mic audio on, so when I save like a game capture, I hear it back and I'm like, that was me. And I use bastard a lot. Like I'll be like, you damn bastard. Like, you know, it's just crazy. Like it really gets, you know, that's the only thing that makes me go off. Like that is the only thing.
Have you heard that other phrase on your recordings? Don't you damn fucking.
You said that.
Yeah.
I pissed you off for some reason. I can't remember why, but then you just turned around and replied, "Don't you damn fucking." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I needed to be like, I had to do. You had to like reset me or something because I couldn't get the words in order. But
yeah, you're much better at it. I'm proud of you. Cussing up the storm now.
Yeah. So I save it. I save these words for like when I really want to shock people, you know. So they're like in my little
strategy.
Thing. Yeah.
Jess, you can learn something from Shareen. She don't save nothing. She got fucking 18 clips in the chamber. No, Jess, the other Jess. I forgot we have 2 on here.
Okay. Okay, buddy. Okay.
Hold on, do we have 2?
Apparently. Every time I say Jess like, who are you talking about?
I know, because I was just like, it's such a random appointment at that time. Like, me? Like, very out of the ordinary.
No, because Shareen's talking about how she, like, saves her cuss words for, like, important moments, and you kind of just potty mouth over there.
No, it's a part of my vernacular, my everyday vocabulary.
Fair enough. All right, what about you, Jess? Did you have one more story for us to go out on, or?
Yeah, and I saved the best one for last.
All right.
Chris reminded me of it, actually, and I think it should resonate more with the boys here, which I think is kind of refreshing because we were talking a lot. But Chris said something about how when he was playing a video game, like way back when, I forgot which one you said it was, but there was something about how it was clear that you were Black because of the way that you talked. And it reminded me, somebody did say that I talk Black, so he thought I was Black. But I'm not Black, so when he said that to me, I did like this kind of backwards search in my head, like, okay, he called me Black, but what does that mean to him? And it means that because I was cussing and I was saying some vile shit, like I was just like letting out my feelings in Apex. And he was just like, oh my God, like, are you Black? You must be Black. So it wasn't a gender thing. It was a race thing at that point. I was like, I cannot believe how ignorant people still are about like this racial color line. And they're bringing it into the gaming community, and it's just never left. And it's still here. And it's horrible.
Yeah. It is. But what can we do? We only can do
That's a good story.
Yeah.
What do you mean, what can we do? Go fuck them up!
Over the fuck them up with some Apex legend.
And I'm so sorry because I know you said this will resonate with the guys, but like I just want to, you know, going off that is the thing that bugs me so much because first of all, like you can't even guess what I am. I don't think, like I'm just all mixed up, and I don't know. And when I'm playing a game with somebody or whatever, I'm not thinking, okay, well, obviously you can tell right off the bat for the most part if it's a girl or a guy, but I'm not thinking, okay, what do they look like? Like that has nothing to do with it. I just want to play, like, I don't know, in any situation, like who I become friends with, who I date, You know, like nothing in life that doesn't matter. That makes it interesting once you get to know a person, like, oh, you know, cultural whatever, like, but yeah, that's something that bugs me, and that's a whole different story, but that's just another part of it. Like, why was that relevant, you know? And
it's not.
Yeah, why did they blurt that out? Like, that's strange. I'd be like, wait a minute, what did you say? Okay, anyway.
Yeah. No, but when I do tell people I am Korean, they'll be like, oh, you're Asian? Like, yeah, I'm Asian. Like, oh, so do you like cosplay? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I know where this is going. Don't ask for any pictures. I cosplay as your dad so I can fuck your mom. Like, you want to hear? All right.
Hey.
It's time to clap some more cheeks.
Hey, let's get it.
See, I wish I could come up with something like a comeback like that. It comes to me like 5 hours later, and then they're gone. No. They're gone.
Baby,
you just need to come up with a catchphrase. That's all.
Yeah, I got to write it down on the back of my hand so I can have it ready. Like,
you can just go with your damn fucking. Like,
yeah, I can.
There you go. That's perfect.
I know.
That's damn fucking.
Leave them on a cliffhanger. They don't know what comes next. Keep them guessing. I like that.
Damn fucking what? Like,
yeah, it's like you'll find out.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you in 5 hours.
That's actually genius.
It is.
Straight
I like
up.
that. Mm-hmm.
Straight up. But yeah.
Waste their time. Like, can I ask you something? To be like, what? And it's like, yeah.
Hey, I got it.
That's it. I just leave it like that.
Yeah. Cosplay is an interesting topic too. When I was in the industry, like, you know, going to those events, I met I didn't know at the time because I'm just kind of out of the know always, but I met a very popular cosplayer who has like millions of followers, and just, I could see like people would come up to us. I mean, we weren't friends, but we were just in the same group. We knew, we had a mutual friend at Ubisoft who got fired, by the way. Anyway, so, but yeah, people would come up to her, girls and guys. And it was just interesting how, like, you know, I don't know if she plays games the way that we do, if she's really passionate about it, maybe, and she's smart because she created a whole business out of this where she's dressing up and, you know, in these little outfits, and the guys just like eat that up. So that was also interesting. And then I knew another friend that I work with now. She used to be a booth babe at E3. So these girls who would like dress up as a character, and they would just kind of like go-go dancers and bring, you know, the guys to the booth. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I guess it's just nature, but that was interesting. I don't cosplay because I can't even sew on a button, but I remember I dressed up like Clementine from The Walking Dead because Jay got me that hat. And that was fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And there was another person
that was a good cosplay too. You look just like her.
Oh, thank you. There's another one too, but I won't say because then it's gonna ruin one of my choices for the badass female game characters.
Oh,
so
I already know who that is.
We'll talk about
I'll keep it to myself.
Yes. Yeah. And there was just twice that happened. But it's interesting. They're like, oh, you're a cosplayer. It's just a lot of people jumping to conclusions and making assumptions. And what are you gonna do? Like, it's annoying, but it's like, no, I don't cosplay, you know. But anyway, I'll keep that one on the back burner.
Word.
All right, then I just wanted to let both Jess and Shareen know, like, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate the both of you, and because it like naturally went longer than we expected. If you guys have more stories, we can do another episode if you guys are down. Like, not today, but I mean, like maybe like in a couple weeks or next month, because it naturally just became a much longer and deeper podcast than what I really expected. So thank you for that. So if you guys are down to do another one sometime, we'd love to have you on again.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure.
We can talk about
you,
anything.
Shareen.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, obviously, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the draft. But for now, we want to thank you for tuning in to the Roast with Friends podcast. And thank you, our guest, Shareen, and our guest, Jess, and my co-host, C-Rock. And we gone.
Word.
Thank you.